Welcome to the the third running of the Murray Williams Cup in Adelaide, South Australia. I'm with the president of the ASA, which is the Australian Sidecar Association, Rocky. Rocky, can you just tell me a little bit about the event and what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, sure. We started this event about 3 years ago exactly, and it's all about trying to get a really strong event for during the year. We obviously had the what we called the Heck Henderson event for many years, which was the biggest event for sidecars and motocross in South Australia, and we think across Australia.
Was the Heck Henderson always at Clarendon, or was it where was that?
No, it moved from Clarendon. It was also way down south, and then it was last run up at the Acusa Park on what we call the Adelaide track. Ran there for years. Then unfortunately it went into remission for a while. So then it's now become a road racing hill climb. So
okay, so the Collingwood run.
Yeah, it goes up to Collingwood now. So what we did is we just thought, look, we really need to acknowledge two of the what we call our icons in our sport, which is Murray Williams as a rider and his long-time passenger Wayne Kerville. Wayne and Murray, they achieved more Australian titles and more state titles and any other championship, and of course Heck Henderson wins than any of us can even brag to have attended. So we really want to acknowledge them in their retirement and say, look, and what's the point of having an event when they've passed away? Let them enjoy it as well. And it's about them enjoying it. And we started 3 years ago, and we haven't looked back. It's just been a great event.
I remember seeing the first event at Murray Bridge. And when Murray came back around with Wayne on the thing and they had the TV and everyone stood against the thing, it was a really good moment, I think, for both them and everyone else to get that chance to say, I guess, thank you, it's been a good ride. And everyone always just sort of says, you know, it's Murray, but he's had a lot of passengers as well. Also very successful in saloon cars and midgets and all those kind of crazy speedway things. Like, the guy's done everything. So,
and that's right, Kerry. I mean, I remember as a kid that we used to travel with my dad, and we used to travel miles, and Dad used to have the big long neck stubbies, long neck beers, and we'd sit there
on the bench seat.
Yeah, that's it. And then we would go and watch all over South Australia, watch Murray and Wayne race, and you know, I've been honoured as well to be able to race with him, race with Murray, and race against Murray, and have Wayne on the sidecar as well, which has been good. And even in his late years, he taught me an awful lot just in one
Wayne
event.
Did?
Yeah, oh, incredible, man. He's just a big man with a strength to move a bike, and he kept correcting me, putting me in the right spot, which was just great. So
that's the sort of thing you want. What I also really love about this event is it's catering. I mean, there was a few issues, I guess, around things like historic register and what people thought of that, and the classics. But now you've got everything. So you've got every bike pretty much covered in the ASA, from the pre-65 stuff all the way to the modern A grade. You've got the junior girls. Junior girls. You've got all the juniors.
Yep.
The Pee-wee bikes. What else have you got?
And of course we've got the girls, and we've got all those classic classes, because that's where we started with the classic Sidecar register, and we've you know, it's been up and down with the classics, very much like the solos, but we've got some good numbers of classics. This is our biggest field of classics we've had for probably about 3 years, which is
so this
brilliant.
event you're running solid pre-75s and pre-85s?
Pre-75, pre-85s, pre-90s.
Pre-90s coming
which
through
is that
now.
New one now, which is a good field. And then obviously we've got the road trial class, the modern B grade, modern A grade, and the juniors, and our Pee-wees. So the Pee-wee demonstration class, which is getting really, really popular. And that's where all these kids are coming from. So yeah.
And unlike a lot of states, SA is very a good run for road trials. It seems to be a really popular thing. You reckon you'll see one of those sidecars really start to make inroads into Hadhar, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess because of those endurance, long endurance events, is those passengers, they need all the accolades they can. I mean, if you have a look, the boys have been up and girls have been up to do the Fink and run the Fink, and it's really, really exhausting just to think. So Hadhar would be a good thing, but yeah, I mean,
well, how good would it be? Toby Price, 4 wheels, 2 wheels, and 3 wheels in one event.
Well, if you look, we've got the Hutchie boys as well, who did the rally as well as Australian Safari as well, and did a brilliant job. So we're their full support. So I think they're even looking at trying to go over to the Dakar and having a go at that one year.
I think something you do really well is the ASA does a lot of travelling, and a lot of people, modern guys, they're not much good at travelling. In solos, it's always, you know, woe with me. You guys just cover the width and breadth of South Australia. Narracourt, up on the coast, Port Lincoln, you're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we have regular competitors. All those Anthonys, they travel from Victoria, and this is the other side of Victoria. So 16 hours just to ride one day event. So we try and move closer to them. Now we've got the Queenslanders, so we've got 2 Queenslander teams come down, and
Dave Maddox has come down with Vaughan.
Yep, and Matt Maloney.
Yep.
And they're just very, very quick. Very
passionate
quick.
about their classic stuff.
Yeah, and all the rephase stuff as well. They got the monster bikes.
Yep.
And
So we're going to talk to those guys a little bit later on and ask them a little bit more about their technicalities on their XX650s, which are probably now thousands. I don't know what they're punching them out to, but it's good to see that old tech still being pushed around and quite fast, because you're running a 650 or a 750 as well.
650 with a 750 kits in, and they're running the big 998s and 1000 cc's. But you know, it doesn't matter how big they are. They're quick. They're quick. They're quicker than I'll ever be. And it's good fun.
And with the 4-stroke in heavy conditions like we've got out here,
beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You haven't run a 2-stroke other than your Speedway outfit?
No, I ran the 2-stroke CR500 many years ago. I did road trials with that as well, and it's a bike that's actually not here at the moment, but it's a CR500, and that was the kit frames. It's a pre-1990 class, but I just love the classics. So riding the pre-75s, and I love my 650 Yamahas. So I don't try and do too much to them. I've just learned to do what I do now.
I was speaking to one of the guys over here before who was going, why don't you do moderns, and one he was not interested. You know, you get to that point where I know my bikes. I've got a couple of classic bikes. I know what to fix on them. The frames I can weld. The motor parts I can fix, and this new stuff, you got to replace whole modules, and it's an aluminium frame. It's like you pack up and go home.
But you know, it's your passion as well, Kerry. You love your classics. I love my classics. I'm not interested in moderns. They're too quick. They're too fast, and I'm not fit enough.
Man's gun.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're just guns. So I love my classics.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Is there anything you would want to say about people coming to this event in the future? Like, where do you know where it's going to be next year?
Yeah, look, we try and move it around. We thought we'd come down to Gilman this year to try and grab a few more spectators. From a rider's perspective, we've run it as a 2-day event. As a present, running an event, I think a 1-day event brings the spectators in more, because they all come that day instead of being spread over 2 days. But we'll try and keep it remain in South Australia. The logistics are going interstate. Unfortunately, we lose too much money.
Yes.
And we just have to keep it in South Australia, and we try and keep it on a really good track like this, so really friendly.
And the other thing is, if you want to keep those the interstate guys from Queensland who may not struggle to get the fields that we have, the 2 days event makes up for the 5 days travel.
And that's why we put it in, because they come from Queensland, come from Victoria. Let's make it 2 days and let them ride, and we'll spread the spectators across. But we've got some really good sponsors in Isuzu trucks. And,
so Isuzu and Mifo 85 was
they're our major sponsors this year, and they pour in an awful lot of money to us. And if we didn't have them, we just wouldn't be able to have the events we are. And as people know, in our state series, we run the quads, and the quads have been really good support to us as well. So.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate you taking time.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
I think it's going to be a great day, and I wish you well out there.
I'm
Don't come unstuck.
I'm buggered already. So, thanks so much. I really appreciate your support for the sport. So, thanks very much, guys.